Report story. Deku's paw. Ochako and I wait for the inbound knock at the door. I was trying to think of what to say, now sitting up in my bed once again. Ochako was still laying down next to me, gripping my arm. She had gotten completely used to this already. At least I stopped sweating and my heart rate went down slightly. I bring my free hand to my chin. What were we going to tell Iida? Of course the truth, but we will have to confront him about how he went about it. I need to apologize too, though. I didn't try and diffuse the situation as well as I should have. I hear a soft knock at the door. Ochako looks up at me and we both nod. It's time. Ochako moves to get out the bed, but I gently grab her arm. She looks at me and blushes a bit, catching my intentions, and she stayed in the bed with me, though she was sitting up too now. We both take a deep breath. Come in, I say loud enough for the person outside the door. After a second of waiting, the door opens and Iida is there, looking down at the floor. I can't help but feel guilt welling up in me. I have to see Iida like this. Midoriya, I'm really sorry. I let my emotions take over and I made a rash decision, getting you hurt. It was even worse than what had happened with Stain. My anger was toward you unjustly. I don't know how to. Iida, it's okay. I'm at fault too. I agreed to fight knowing I was hurt. Even if I wasn't hurt, we shouldn't have fought. I'm sorry. I say. Iida looks at me, his eyes widen just a bit when he notices that Ochako is next to me in bed. Iida, Ochako said a bit firmly. She clearly was still pretty upset. Why were you so angry? We have a pretty good idea, but I think it's best we talk about it, as friends. She beckons towards the chair she was sitting in earlier. Iida hesitates. He looks at the floor and then back up and walks towards the chair, sitting down. Looking back, it was really stupid and selfish of me. I felt left out, he said, staring at his hands, clasped together at his knees. You guys are my best friends. I knew something had been growing between you two and I was happy for you guys. I wanted to give you my full support. But you guys never said anything. I figured you guys wanted to keep things personal for a while. Which I totally understood. But then I found out others knew, and that hurt. How could they tell others and not me? Aren't I their best friend? I thought. Looking back, it was childish thinking, but it still very much hurt. I thought you guys didn't trust me. Ochako and I look at each other. We were spot on. Ochako's eyes were much more softened than before. I guess hearing it from him hit a bit harder. Ochako looks down at my hands, thinks for a second, and takes one of my hands in hers. She then takes a deep breath and turns to Iida again. Iida, I understand. That must have hurt. I understand what it feels like to be left out of something important. She starts. I give her a bit of an inquisitive look. She feels left out of something. I'll ask her about that later. But you have to know. Those who know found out, not really from us telling them, but from them just putting clues together and offering advice. Kirishima found out during the overhaul mission because I refused to let go of Izuku because I almost lost him. Iida looked up with pained eyes. Iida, we've been wanting to tell you. We just wanted to do it together. In fact, we only got together officially just last night. I said with a blush. Ochako's hands and arms wrap around my arm. She must have liked the sound of that. You're the only person that knows as of now. I smile at him. Ida's eyes well up as he sniffs. I'm so sorry. I should have just trusted you too. No, I should have let you guys have your own privacy. He said loudly. I barged into your relationship on day one. It wasn't my place, I should have just been happy for you regardless. Really, I'm sorry. He's standing now doing the most rigid, low bow possible. Promoted stories. You'll also like Cruelty X 1.2M 40.1K LNYN, a very hostile girl whom despised everyone and everyone despised her. Izuku Midoriya, a very sweet boy who was popular with his classmates, oddly developed. The Black Lady of the Night 1.6K11A. Vigilante hero was out one night and saw a person fighting a whole group of villains all by themselves, but the problem is that they're badly injured and no one knows. Different Izuku X Ochako 82.8K 1.5K Deku is the number one hero. He has fame and money, but he doesn't care much for either. He wants something more but doesn't know what. That is until he meets a very interesting BNHA. The paths he chooses. Book 1. A Fatefew, 158K 2.7 kits. A normal day for Izuku as he completes his normal routine and goes to school. Along the way he runs into Yui Kodai, a quiet and mysterious girl of class 1B, they E. Villain Deku, Villain Rehab 10.8K 260 words. 23,820. Izuku was just 14 when he met All Might and asked if he can be a hero, but All Might crushes his dreams and left him on a rooftop. What All Might didn't. Dream on B. K.6.8 K 232 downwards arrow tip rightwards, in which a jealous bachelor signs a deal with the devil in order to win over the heart of his first love. Katsuki Bakugo has loved the PR. I hate and love you. 258K 4.6 Con. IzuOcha fanfiction where Deku and Uraraka had a fight in kindergarten which led to something worse. But maybe they can be friends or perhaps more. Non-Quirko rated. Ochako moves out the bed and gives Iida a hug. I force myself out the bed. I know Ochako will scold me later, but I have to be there for him. I wrap my arms around the both of them, tears forming in my eyes as well. It's okay, Iida. We're in this together. We are friends after all. Ochako says. The best of friends. I add. Thank you, both of you. Iida says, pulling away and wiping tears from his glasses. Iida takes a look at my head. Sorry, Midoriya, really, about the kick to the head. I'm glad someone bandaged you up properly. I give him a confused look, reaching up to feel my head. Oh, there are bandages there. Did Ochako put those on me? How did I not notice? Momo came in earlier and did them. Didn't wanna get you two in trouble with the school. Ochako giggled. Nonsense. I shall take the blame. Iida said, doing the hand movement again. Iida, let's just let this slide today. I laugh nervously. I'd rather not see him in trouble if possible. I bring my hand down from my head and give Iida a look of confidence. Don't think you're off the hook though. I say to him. He gives me a bit of a worried look, but returns my confident gaze. Ask anything, I'll make it up to you. He responds. I hold out my hand. We'll see who's stronger in a real battle. You said I wanted to test my moves out against you. You weren't wrong. I wanna practice with you and get stronger together. Iida looked a bit taken back by my response, but returns my confident gaze and takes my hand. I won't go easy on you. It would be disappointing if you did. Ochako puts a fist up in the air. All right. We'll get stronger together to be great heroes. Iida and I look at her both with amazingly bright smiles. Yeah, we yelled together. Ochako's paw. Well then I'll leave you guys alone. I got some studying to do. Iida said, checking his watch and pushing his glasses up. Seriously, congratulations you two. I am very happy for you. Thank Iida, good luck with your studies. Izuku says. Iida turns and walks out the room. I stretch and give him a look. So, mister, I say. Izuku looks at me confused. Why are you still up and standing? You need rest before school tomorrow so that knot can go away. He chuckles and starts to head back to bed. However, an idea creeps its way into my mind. Wait, I yell before Izuku can get in. He turns at me even more confused. What is it, Ochako? I run to his closet and grab the remaining volumes of notebooks Izuku had wrote in and jump into the bed before him. I scoot over and look at him with an innocent smile. Quote dot. Okay, now you can get into bed. I say sweetly. You do it once and it becomes second nature almost instantly. Why did I almost turn this down? This is great. Izuku blushes slightly before heading my order. Climbing into bed with me, I scoot closer to him and start reading as he gets on his phone and starts watching videos of whatever. Pretty sure I heard All Might's voice in one of the videos. Actually, now that I think about it. Hey, Izuku. Yeah, what's up, Ochako? Remember what I asked you before the overhaul mission? I asked, not really looking up from the volumes Izuku had written. You asked me a lot of things, which one are we talking about? He said, looking at me. I look up to meet his jade eyes. Don't show me those, that's not fair. Well, you told me you would tell me about your past. I said nervously. I notice Izuku wince just a bit. What do you want to know? I felt guilt build up in my stomach, but I need to know this. Ever since that night at the beach, I've been wondering about it. I know you must have had a rough childhood. Have you ever talked to anyone about it? I hold my breath as I look at Izuku, who's now facing away from me. He shook his head. Would you be able to open up to me about it? I know it's still hurting you on the inside. Izuku stays silent for a few minutes, refusing to look at me. I guess today just isn't the day to pressure him with it. It must be worse than I originally thought. I'm sorry, Izuku, you don't have to. I always wanted to be a hero, you know. He said softly, causing me to stop my sentence. I scooted in even closer to him. I might as well have been leaning on him for support. Most kids, they go through a ton of different phases. I wanna be this, then that. Not me, my goal was to be a hero since the beginning. All Might was who I wanted to be. I had All Might onesies when I was just 2 years old. He chuckled softly and I couldn't help but smile, imagining a little Izuku running around. I couldn't wait to get my quirk. When I turned 4, I was so excited. Ka-chan had just gotten his quirk, an amazing one at that. So Bakugo and Izuku go that far back. Wow, you would think Bakugo would take more of a liking to Izuku then. He's better now, but I remember beginning of the year Bakugo. The doctors checked me out when I never received my quirk. They said it was unusual that I haven't received it yet. I had all the qualifications. It simply just didn't appear. I furrow my eyebrows just a bit. Thankfully, Izuku didn't notice since he wasn't looking at me, but that doesn't make sense. You are either born with a quirk or without. I've never heard of cases of people getting late quirks. Izuku always said his quirk appeared late. There have been cases of people who got their quirks a year or two later, so it's not impossible, but so what if his quirk appeared a bit late? Izuku said he had all the qualifications for one. I know if you're having an extra bone in your foot, the pinky toe, I think. Then you're quirkless. Something isn't adding up here. I got bullied just a bit, not too much to worry about, but it hurt a lot. Izuku said quietly. Izuku, the way you were crying doesn't tell me it wasn't much to worry about. What happened? I asked concerned. What did they do to him? Izuku looks at me with teary eyes. The guilt built up even more, but I need to know this. I need to understand the person I am with. I want to shoulder his burdens with him. I was told I could never be a hero. That I wasn't good for anything. I was beaten up. A lot. I was always hurt back then. My stuff destroyed, my desk scribbled on, the teachers ignored me. I was even told that I should kill myself once. I felt tears run down my face. Izuku dealt with all that. How long? I asked quietly. What? He said, looking at me tiredly. Tears were already running down his cheeks. How long did this go on for? I repeated. Right up until I finished middle school. Right up until he finished middle school. But we just started high school. He means, only until earlier this year did it end for him. But it was because you didn't have a quirk, right? You said it was only late. Why didn't they stop when you got your quirk? It couldn't have taken more than a few extra months for it to appear, right? I refused to believe they bullied him just because he didn't have a quirk for a few months. It had to have been something else. Izuku and All Might have a close relationship because their quirks are similar. That's why All Might helps him, right? Because he saw his quirk was similar. Right. Izuku gave me a look. I couldn't tell what kind of look it was, but I can see gears turning in his head. My quirk didn't appear until a few days before the entrance exam. That day I saved you was the first time I had ever used my quirk. My eyes got wide. What? All Might took me under his wing after Ka-chan was captured by a villain. I ran in to try and help him, and All Might rescued us. I asked him if I could be a hero and he said he would help me. I guess I got lucky and ended up with a similar quirk to him. Izuku laughed nervously. He looked a mess. Swollen eyes and dried tears, yet laughing nervously. I'm sure I don't look great either right now. But something was off. That doesn't make any sense. He just trained with All Might and he just magically had a quirk by early this year. That's not how that works. But something else had gotten my attention at the sound of Bakugo's name. Why didn't Bakugo stand up for you? You guys knew each other, right? Why didn't he help you? I know the answer. I know how Bakugo treated him at the beginning of this year. I need to hear it. Izuku's face turns fearful. Izuku, tell me who told you to kill yourself. Don't lie to me. Izuku's silence said it all. I'll kill him. I said, jumping out of the bed. Ochako, no. Izuku said, jumping after me and grabbed me by the waist. I struggle against him as he pulls me back to the bed. Izuku sits back on the bed holding me by the waist securely, me in his lap still fighting to get away. Ochako. Stop. He's different now. Izuku yelled. I don't care. He did so much to you for so many years. I yelled, tears pouring down my face. I turned towards him, looking straight into his eyes before wrapping my arms around him. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm so sorry. I sniffed. Izuku wrapped his arm around me. It's okay. Because I have friends now, and even more than that, I have you. I felt alone, but I'm not alone anymore. My adventure with you is just now starting. And I couldn't be happier. He said, holding me tightly. I'll always be here. You and I. You aren't alone anymore. I love you. I hadn't told him that last night. He didn't say it either, but it was all new to us. It's still new. But right here, right now, that didn't matter. I love you too, Ochako. Kenlair here. Wow. Sad chapter, I know. Got all the feels going. But this is the true beginning to Ochako and Izuku journey. Time to get into the actual dating arc. Kenny boy, where stories live. Discover now.